In the beginning of a relationship, you do not understand anything, only that you are head over heels about this person. No one or anything can keep you from them. They are saying and doing all the right things. Most people say that you are meeting their representatives instead of the real them. And I believe this to a certain extent. There's some truth in it. I also know that with any relationship, you must nurture it and feed it. A person can only hide their true selves but for so long. After a while, their intentions will be known. A known issue is that they want you to admire them when they are not showing you the same admiration. Now, all of a sudden, the person that you thought you knew is a stranger. A stranger that has lived in your home, a person you have known your whole entire life, or someone that you have fallen in love with may have this disorder. And we can be clueless about what is happening. Now you have to ask yourself, why am I here? Should I stay in a narcissistic, abusive relationship? A narcissist will have you believe that the sky is green and water is not wet. The type of behavior that they exhibit will lead you to a life full of lies. If you're like me, you will love someone to the extent that you will think that if you give all your love to them, they will change. Unknowingly, change only comes from within. Their angry manner, along with their thoughts of entitlement, is something that they must work on. In a narcissistic, abusive relationship, it will be so overwhelming until it is confronted and faced. The real reason a narcissist act the way that they do is because they may have inherited these characteristics from a parent, a mother or a father. But according to the Mayo Clinic, men are more susceptible to having this disease than women are. Also, they may have low self-esteem from a childhood trauma. A narcissist will be hiding a deep unhappiness, a void where they are secretly missing compassion and love. Most narcissists do not really understand what they are doing themselves. They will be in denial until it is brought to their attention. People use empathy to show just how much they care for others. But this is not the case with the narcissist. We must learn to recognize these symptoms and know when to get out. The next generation is dependent on us and our behavior to become strong and self-reliant empathists. The best way to guide them is through love. We must show them love, respect, and be truthful. A person can become a narcissist abuser by not receiving what they need early on in life. The generational patterns of parents not being able to parent or show affection can no longer be obsolete. This is hurting generations to come. As we become adults, we hold on to these hidden feelings and they grow and become disorders. As adults, we must deal with the grit of the pain and the hurt that we may have endured. Then we must face it and receive the help that we need. So many people are scared or ashamed to get help because we do not want to be labeled. A label can be taken off, but a diagnosis is a far worse thing to have. A narcissistic abuser can only stop their own self-destruction. No one should allow themselves to deal with or be part of another's downward spiral. A person that you thought you knew and loved turns out to be someone you don't even know. I was in a relationship for 10 years with a narcissistic abuser. I allowed this person to alienate me, from my family and my friends because he told me that they were jealous of our relationship. At this time, I believed him because he would point out the little things that my family and friends would say and do. This made me believe he was right. I was a grown woman with a curfew, but this allowed him to control me so the abuse could start. If I alienated myself from others and was always at home, then there would be no one for me to cry out to for help. So I would be living in pain and brokenness, all in silence. I lived this life for 8 long years of my life. I say 8 because the first 2 was great until I had my son. The pressure of having a family was getting to him. That is what I persuaded myself to think. As you know, or you may not know, that a narcissistic behavior is a mental illness and must be treated. Although this was me justifying what he was doing to me. Let me explain to you guys what a narcissistic is. A person that is egotistical, self-focused, and vain, according to the Webster's Dictionary. This person made me feel that he was the best thing that has ever happened to me. I even started to feel that way. That he was my all in all. Even though if he did not like something I did, he would beat me. I thought that no one would love me like he could because that is what he told me. My timeline of issues that I had with this person was like an ongoing roller coaster ride. The lack of support that he had for me should have been a sign right there that something was wrong. How can you be with someone night after night and day after day and not have any empathy for them? What I did not realize that deep down he did not love himself. In order for him to love me, he would have to do that first. The way I was abused mentally and physically, I thought was something that just went along with a relationship. Even though I had never seen my mother or father like this. So why should I have stayed and tolerated such a thing? The manipulation and the repeatedly belittlement of my character was something that I suppressed. My allowance of his superiority over me made me develop low self-esteem to the point in which it had almost drove me crazy. Now, let me explain something to you. According to the narcissistic personality disorder statistics. Now, I want you to listen to this and listen to me clearly and closely because this is very important. There are 325 million people in the U.S. alone. There are 7.5 billion people worldwide. There is 6.2 people in the U.S. that is infected with narcissistic personality disorder. Now, I want you to listen closely. In the U.S., there's 20 million that has NPD, and worldwide, there's 450 million that has NPD. Now, I want you to listen closely. People that are negatively impacted by narcissistic abuse in the U.S. alone is 20 million times 3, which would be 60 million. Worldwide, there is 450 million times 3 equals 1.3 billion people that are negatively impacted by narcissistic abuse. That is a lot of people that are negatively impacted by narcissistic abusers. I understand that for some of us, love is the ultimate goal for our happiness. But if that love and happiness comes in the form of a narcissistic abuser, then it is not worth it. How can we say that we love ourselves but will allow someone else to lead us astray. Our worth is much more than being beat on by an egotistical, boastful, and angry person. One must understand that they are more important than settling for a person that exaggerates the sense of purpose. We are all human and should be treated with care, love, and empathy, especially from those that say they love us.